Since he was little, Lucas had a feeling he couldn't explain. No matter where he was, whether in a room full of colleagues or among his own family, he always felt like there was something wrong, as if he was living a script that wasn't made for him. One day, as a child, while watching the night sky, he whispered, "Why am I so different?" He had no idea that that concern was, in fact, an answer in the form of a question. And this question echoes within thousands of people around the world. Have you ever had the feeling that you don't fit in? Have you noticed that your way of seeing the world is different from most around you? What if, in fact, this is not a defect, but a clear indication of a spiritual calling? The answer may be deeper than you realize. Perhaps you have been set apart since before you were born for something greater. People like that exist. They walk among us, but they live with a sense of mission that they cannot explain. And even without knowing it, they carry visible and invisible signs that distinguish them, are the so-called landmarks of the chosen. It's time to regain your strength and build a new path. If this video is making sense to you, don't stop here. Click sign up now and discover the next step towards your transformation. Today, you will discover the 7 spiritual evidences that reveal whether someone was truly separated by God for a unique mission. But be careful. These signs do not appear as voices from the sky or lightning on the horizon. They manifest themselves in everyday life, in the pains you've faced, in the rejections you didn't understand, in the intuitions that no one else understood. And the last sign, the 7th, is the most impressive of all. Few recognize him, but he is the one who confirms everything. And if, throughout this video, you identify with these brands, don't ignore them. It's not just a coincidence. It could be a divine summons. Your presence bothers toxic environments. Have you ever noticed that certain people move away from you for no apparent reason? They may even create conflicts or make up stories about you, even if you've just been kind or neutral. This happens more often than you might think, but what few know is that in many cases this is not a personal attack. It is a response to the spiritual energy you carry. People with distorted intentions, hardened hearts, or hidden motivations feel uncomfortable near light. And this light, even if you don't see it, emanates from you. It's like a lamp that bothers eyes accustomed to darkness. Not because you confront them directly, but because your existence already confronts them. This phenomenon was experienced by historical and spiritual figures. Jesus, for example, was hated by Pharisees and religious leaders even though he never attacked them. John 8:44 shows the moment when he confronts them with words that reveal the origin of their actions. You belong to your father, the devil. Strong, isn't it? But true. The light of Christ exposed their shadow, and the same could be happening to you. Recent research in social psychology indicates that authentic individuals with high moral integrity face more resistance in groups where hypocrisy is culturally accepted. This is called environmental disruption, when the presence of someone with integrity breaks the dysfunctional dynamics of a group. You are not being rejected because you did something wrong. You are being pushed away because your presence interferes in the destructive cycle of those environments. And believe me, this can be divine protection. God often keeps you away from connections that would delay or destroy your mission. Maybe you didn't realize it, but many of the attacks, gossip, and separations you experienced weren't curses. They were signs that your essence bothers what is corrupted, and that perhaps you are carrying a light that reveals where there is a lie. If you have experienced this with family members, co-workers, or even in religious communities, take a deep breath and ask yourself, why does this happen to me? Maybe the answer is right there. You have been chosen. And your presence is the first evidence of this. Want to confirm if this is really a spiritual mark? So notice, the same environments that tried to hurt you were the ones that God used to hurt you, strengthen you, and the people who were most bothered by you were the ones who most needed the light you carried. If you've experienced this, write in the comments. God protects me from environments that were not made for me. And get ready, because the next sign will explain why you know things before they even happen. Be part of our spiritual family. Subscribe to the channel today and comment "I believe" below as a symbol that you accept your role in this great transition. Let your energy be counted among the chosen. The time is now. You notice what others ignore. Have you ever wondered why you feel like something is wrong, even when no one else notices? Has it ever happened that you enter a room and without anyone saying anything, you realize that there is something strange there? And when you try to warn someone, do they think you are exaggerating or being too negative? Why does this happen so often to you? The truth is that this sensitivity is not weakness. It's no coincidence either. There is a name for this: spiritual discernment. A perception that goes beyond what is visible, that captures what is hidden, and that often arrives before tragedy, error, or trap. While some need proof to act, those chosen already feel in their spirit what needs to be avoided. And this sign is older than you might think. In the book of Genesis, chapter 37, we find the story of Joseph, son of Jacob. While still young, he began to have dreams that revealed the future. These dreams were not normal. They showed situations that seemed unlikely, but that later became reality. In one of them, Joseph saw sheaves of wheat bowing before his own. In another, he saw the sun, moon, and stars bowing. His brothers were furious, thinking he was putting himself above them. But it wasn't ego. It was an anticipated vision of God's plan. The exact date of these biblical events is not precise, but theologians and historians place Joseph's life around 1700 BC in a region of the ancient Middle East. Even at that time, spiritual sensitivity already caused rejection, because those who see beyond bother those who prefer comfortable blindness. This sensitivity did not stop in the past. Today, thousands of people report feeling things in advance that are later confirmed. A study conducted in 2022 by Institute for Spiritual Research indicated that approximately 35% of people interviewed have had previous experiences of perception beyond the natural, especially in moments of critical decision. But what differentiates a simple intuition from spiritual discernment? The difference is in origin and purpose. Intuition can come from experience or the unconscious, but spiritual discernment comes from a connection to something much greater, the voice of God within you. And the purpose is not just to protect you, it's guiding you on the right path and alert others, even if they don't understand right away. But there is one detail. Those who have this discernment often pay a price. He is seen as alarmist, complicated, or even arrogant. And it's not by chance. People who see dangers are rejected by those who have become accustomed to their comfort zone. And here is the question that needs to be asked. Have you ever tried to warn someone about something and were ignored? And then everything happened exactly as you had felt? If your answer is yes, then perhaps you have already experienced sign number 2. God does not give this kind of perception for nothing. The chosen ones receive this sensitivity as a tool, not to judge, but to protect, guide, and in many cases, save lives. Daniel, the prophet, is another strong example. He lived around the 6th century BC, and during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar and his successors, he interpreted dreams and visions that not even the wisest in Babylon could decipher. In Daniel 2, he reveals and interprets the king's dream, without even having heard what it was before. That wasn't talent. It was discernment given directly by the Spirit of God. Today, this type of perception can manifest itself in several ways. An unexplained discomfort around someone. A dream so vivid, it seems more warning than imagination. A firm certainty about something that has not yet happened. A feeling that something will go wrong, even if everyone around you is carefree. But be careful. These are not negative feelings. True discernment does not live on fear. He lives from prevention, yes, divine wisdom, of spiritual reading of what the eyes cannot see. If you've already been through this, tried to warn, and no one listened to you, don't hold any regrets. The purpose is not to be validated by others, but obey what God shows you. Keep being that sentry. And remember, whoever is in the tower sees it first, and whoever sees first speaks first. Have you ever noticed something before others? Have you ever had the feeling that God was trying to show you something important before everything happened? If so, write in the comments, "Lord, help me understand what you are trying to show me," because this sign is not a burden, it's a gift. And the next sign will show you why you often attract conflict, even when you haven't said a word. Your journey is just beginning. It's time to regain your strength and build a new path. Subscribe to the channel and be part of this community that is awakening to the truth. You attract conflict even without provocation. Has it ever happened that you enter a place and without even saying a word, notice strange looks? Have you ever felt like your mere presence makes some people feel uncomfortable, like they're on the defensive, even if you just want peace? Why are certain people bothered by who you are, even when you're just being you? This is one of the quietest signs, but also one of the most revealing. People chosen by God often face gratuitous opposition, not because they did something wrong, but because of what they represent without having to open their mouths. And here is a truth that can change the way you see these situations. You're not always the problem. Sometimes it's what you carry that gets people's reactions. This pattern repeats itself in the history of those who were separated by God. Daniel is a striking example. He did not seek confrontation. He was integrity, faithful and correct, but even so, he was the target of envy, conspiracy and traps. Why? Because his conduct exposed the corruption of others. His loyalty highlighted the dishonesty of others. And that bothers you. In the book of Daniel, chapter 6, we see that the administrators of the kingdom tried to find some fault in their conduct, but found nothing. He was so righteous that the only way to attack him was to create a law that prohibited him from praying, exactly what he did in secret every day. Result? Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, but there God showed that he is with those who remain firm, even in the midst of threats. Now, reflect with me. Why so much resistance against someone who only does good? This happens because the chosen ones carry a truth that confronts them. It is not a truth said out loud, but a lived truth, which can be seen in the eyes, in the attitudes, in the lifestyle. And this truth clashes with those who live on lies, appearances, or hidden interests. You are not provoking the conflict. What creates discomfort in others is not what you do, but what your life represents. It's not about your personality, but about the purpose that lives within you. The presence of those who carry a mission reveals what many prefer to hide. They cannot bear this light because it forces them to face realities that were dormant, and this sentence needs to be repeated until it makes sense. This isn't about you, it's about what you carry. You may have been excluded from groups, scorned in environments you've been in for years, or even questioned by people close to you who said, "You've changed," even if inside you're just trying to be who God called you to be. These situations hurt, it's true. But they also reveal something important. Your life is provoking reactions because your essence is fulfilling the role given to you. And yes, there are times when it hurts. But it's in these moments that you need to understand that being rejected because of what you carry is a sign that you are on the right path. Look around. How many spiritual leaders, prophets, visionaries, and changemakers have been welcomed from the beginning? The answer is almost none. Being chosen almost always brings opposition. But here's the secret. The way you react to conflict is what defines whether you will continue to grow or become paralyzed. Daniel did not respond with screams, did not try to get revenge, nor did he beg for acceptance. He stood firm, continued praying, and trusted that the God who called him would also be the God who would justify him. And that's exactly what happened. This behavior reveals a fundamental principle. Whoever carries a mission does not need to prove anything to anyone. Time reveals who is who. If you have faced unexplained criticism, unexpected attacks, or rejection from people who once admired you, breathe. This is not a mistake. It may be part of the process that separates those who just live from those who carry a greater destiny. But make no mistake, God's purpose is not to leave you alone. It's polishing you. It's using discomfort to prepare you for something that requires inner strength. And here's another variation of the truth that you need to keep. The conflicts you didn't cause may be evidence that you were sent with something the world doesn't yet understand. Have you ever faced situations where you were criticized or excluded for no clear reason? Have you ever felt that your presence bothers you even without intention? Then write in the comments, Lord, may I never lose my essence because of rejection. Because those who were separated for a greater purpose do not seek to fit in. Try to remain faithful. And in the next part, you will understand why, even surrounded by people, you still feel like you don't belong here. Share this knowledge with the world. Together we can spread this message and help more people become free. Subscribe to the channel and send this video to anyone who needs to hear this truth.